Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle videos. So I do a lot of vlogs, a lot of motherhood type stuff, but at least twice a month I like to talk about my budget. I usually do a budget with me at the beginning of the month and then a budget recap at the end of the month, which actually I do them then, but you see them the opposite. I'm confused. So basically you're gonna see this one at the beginning of the month because I just closed out my September budget, and then my October budget with me I filmed and you would have saw last week, but I can link that here if you haven't seen it yet. But today I'm gonna take you through my September recap, show you what happened to our budget in September. If you haven't watched any of our recent vlog or any of our recent budget with me videos and you're brand new here, my husband and I have a good amount of debt. Okay, my dog is sighing. That's how she feels. That's how I feel about debt too. Plus we had some medical debt and personal debt that we accumulated a few years ago that we are kind of just trying to push through with. We are focusing a lot on savings the last year or two. One, because we have health issues, those pop up and we want to have like a big savings nest. And two, we had a baby. So we have a 9-month-old, which is crazy. She just turned 9 months old, which is insane to me. It's just important for us to have money saved if things come up. I don't want to have to be putting things on credit or asking people for money, things like that. That is why we focus mostly on savings right now, although we do really need to get back into our debt payoff soon. Why don't we jump into this? I'll show you what we spent in September. We went over budget a good amount, but I'll tell you why and we'll walk through it. So let's get going. Okay. So as you can see, I always black out our income. Again, you could figure it out if you really wanted to, but it's just the exact numbers. My income changes monthly depending on how much I'm bringing in. I am a freelance writer for a company and I also sometimes do project work for a few other clients. Any money that I make through YouTube also comes through that. And then Ben's income, and then we also get a payout from a business that Ben used to be a co-owner. He's technically a co-founder of the business, but he is no longer a part of it. So we're being paid out over a couple of years from that business. So those are our 3 income streams. And then as you can see in September, we also had $65 of rollover, which is not a lot, but you know what? It's better than 0 or negative, right? So we'll go with that. And then miscellaneous extra this month. I had to bring about $219 over from my business savings. It's technically my business account. I just use an Ally savings account for that, if that makes sense. We use Ally Bank because it has like a high yield savings interest account, so that's really good. Anyway, I brought that over for a test that I purchased, which you'll see later down below, a Viome test that I'll be doing a video on hopefully in October once I get my results. I also got a little bit of a gas gift card or gift Venmo from a friend to go and see my mom. I got paid back from a medical bill, although you'll see we ended up having to pay a whole bunch more money anyway. So like, and then I actually won I won 2nd place in that workout program that I was telling you guys that I loved in my weight loss video. And I won 2nd place, so I got $200 from that, which is pretty exciting. So I got that, we got a little bit of interest, and then a few of you were so sweet and sent me a coffee, buy me a coffee via my Buy Me a Coffee account, which you can always find in the description, but don't feel like you need to purchase me anything. But the few of you that did, I really appreciate that. So that's also came in through my account this month. So we thought we were gonna bring in $9,700 this month. We ended up bringing in almost $11,000, which is pretty great. Also, if you see me looking over, I'm working on Ivy's nap here again. So we were about almost $1,200 more money than we were anticipating this month. Moving on to our fixed expenses, our household expenses first, $2,500 for rent. I know every time I make this video, we all take just a big deep sigh for how much money it is to rent here, but $2,500. Renters insurance we didn't have to pay this month. Everything else here is normal or within a few cents because there's a few things that like change a little bit. I'm trying to see if there's anything different. No, these are all normal. So these are our normal household fixed expenses. And then if you move on to my business expenses, I now have them in our home budget, which I explained in a previous video, but I have a couple of business expenses. So my Canva account, Spotify, Weight Watchers technically was in my business, but I did cancel that. So I was able to cancel it. And one of you commented letting me know to tell them that it was for health reasons that I was canceling, and thank you for doing that. Otherwise I would have had to pay, because the lady was like she did not care that I somehow missed a very, very fine print thing. But so thank you for that information, because I was able to get out of it, thankfully, for that reason. My Libsyn account is for an old podcast that I have, and then miscellaneous, I bought that Viome test, and then there was a couple of other random things. I think this was for TubeBuddy, which I did make a new line item in my budget for next month. And then $33 I went to a call with Amy Young, who is a coach, and I paid $33 for that. So we spent about $25 over budget this month, but nothing crazy. Our debt, again, like I said, is normal. This one was off by 38 cents. These are the two that will be starting up in October. So you'll see that in our October budget recap. Or if you watched the October budget with me, you would have seen that as well. So moving on to the interesting part, right, is our variable expenses. So we went over budget on groceries by about $226. I kind of explained this in my last budgeting video, so I will link that. Sorry, I'm linking like a lot of videos, but I always get questions on why we spend so much money on food. So last month I had a dedicated part of the video where I told you exactly why we spend so much money on food, but I will say this month was a little bit more, just because we had a little bit more expenses come through. But as you'll see, we didn't go to Costco this month, and that's because we went twice in August. So we were able to push through in September, but I'm actually going tomorrow. So that'll be in our October budget, and it'll be a pretty big trip since we haven't been in like 5 weeks. Moving on to restaurants and coffee shops, did go over budget, although not terribly, but we went about $67 over budget. Again, a lot of that is because we've been doing Uber Eats versus like going and picking up food. So hopefully we can be a little bit better about that in October. Medication and supplements, we were under budget, so that's good. Household, we were over budget by $400. I'm still trying to figure out this section. It holds a lot of things, and Ivy is going through tons of formula and like baby food right now. I'm not currently making her baby food. We bought a gate for the living room, which was almost $100, and then we bought like latches because she's getting into stuff now. I bought some shampoo, clothing for Ivy because she's like grown out of most of her clothes now, so I have to get, it's funny, she's 9 months old, she's just now starting to fit in 6 to 9 month or 9 to 12 month. 9 to 12 is pretty big, but she's been living in like 3 to 6 month or like 6 to 9 months now for a few months, so I needed a little bit more clothes for her. So we did go over budget quite a bit on that one. Beauty, we only went $13 over budget, and that is just because of some of like Ben needed to get some hair stuff that I didn't know he needed, so I didn't budget for that. This was a high budget month for beauty because I got my hair colored, and my hair is very expensive. It was $300 to get my hair colored and cut, and then I had to tip on top of that. So but I did budget for that, so we're over budget, but not really. Personal spending, we were over by $750, and that's just like a few random things. I bought these watch bands, a book, Kelly's workout program, pepper spray. Technically, actually, this colored organics thing should be in household. Too late. Anyway, so moving on to doctors, we were very over budget here, $855, and that is because I was not anticipating a bill from my breast biopsy that I had to have a couple weeks ago. I was given no notice that I was going to get a bill that high, so my bill was $1,080.55 for the breast biopsy, so that kind of sucked. And then there's a whole bunch of therapy bills in there as well, so it ended up being more than we were anticipating for sure. Moving on to utilities, we were under budget. Car, we were under budget because we really aren't going anywhere. It was really when I went up north to see my mom after her car accident that I got gas twice. So the $71 is gas for that. And then Cora and Finn, we were under budget. We bought 2 bags of food, her doctor appointment that she had to go to. So I must have budgeted high for them. Or I haven't been getting her medication because she hasn't really needed it. So that's probably why. Miscellaneous, we only spent $15, and that was just on some new straws for my Stanley water bottle. We did go over budget by almost $1,000 in variable expenses, but really most of that is that doctor thing. So because we were under budget in so many other categories, it actually isn't too terrible when you think about it. And I'm so grateful that we had an additional $1,000 or so in our account, and I didn't have to take any money from savings in order to pay for that bill. So I am grateful for that, because if you've been watching me for years, we used to be going by the skin of our teeth that we would get by every month, and sometimes, a lot of times we didn't, and we would have to put it on credit card. So I'm very grateful that we just had that money. Then moving on to the second miscellaneous kind of category that changes every month. Birthday and holidays, I had put $50 because it was Ben's mom's birthday and my dad's birthday, but that was like right around the time that my mom got in her car accident, and quite honestly, I didn't think about getting anybody anything, so we didn't spend any money there. I put $877 to savings, $630 to my taxes savings account, and then we didn't spend anything else. So we really were under budget by $50 in this account because I didn't spend that money. We spent a total of $10,454.59 in October, and we had $453.70 of rollover. So that moves over to our October budget. Eventually that will move to our savings. I think I explained this in one of our videos, but a lot of our big bills come out at the beginning of the month, like our $2,500 of rent, and a couple of our loans come out in the beginning of the month. So I used to pay our savings right away when our rent was half the price, but now I wait until the middle of the month to pay that, because then we have a couple of my invoices get paid and we're on to Ben's second paycheck. Anyway, I feel like in this video I kind of just babbled and told you a lot of information that maybe you needed or didn't need, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. I hope that you have been enjoying my budgeting videos in general. I know that a lot of you come to the channel for budgeting, and I really appreciate that. I do think you should watch my vlogs though, because I love my vlogs, but I totally understand if you're just a sit down budgeting girly or boy-y. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.